I stood in my bedroom doorway, my pulse hammering in my ears, my eyes locked on a sight that burned itself into my soul. My best friend, Cassandra, was twirling in front of my full-length mirror, her laughter soft and careless, like she was living a dream that wasn't hers. My wedding dress, the one I'd chosen with tears in my eyes, picturing a life I thought was certain, lay draped across the bed, its lace shimmering in the afternoon light. But it wasn't the dress that stopped my heart. It was the ring. My wedding ring. The one I'd had custom made, with a tiny sapphire tucked beneath the diamond, because Liam said it matched the blue of my eyes. It was on her finger, glinting as she spun, her voice whispering words that cut deeper than any knife. Do you, Cassandra, take Liam to be your lawfully wedded husband? She wasn't practicing for my wedding. She was rehearsing for hers. With my fiancé. And what happened next? It didn't just shatter my world, it set it on fire. This is the story of how I uncovered their betrayal and let karma do what it does best. Because on Karma Revenge, the truth always comes out, and the ending. It's not what they expected. Have you ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to watch them break it? Stick with me, because this is why Karma Revenge exists, to show what happens when lies meet justice. My name is Amanda Fields. I'm 32, a graphic designer from Seattle, and until that moment, I thought I had everything figured out. A fiancé who made my days brighter, a best friend who was my rock, and a wedding set for April 14th, just weeks away. But life has a way of unraveling when you're not looking, and on Karma Revenge, we don't hide from the truth. We face it. Let me take you back to the start, because to understand the pain, you need to understand the love, and the lies that hid beneath it. Cassandra and I were 12 when we met, at a summer camp in Oregon where the air smelled of pine and lake water. I was the quiet kid, always sketching birds or trees in my notebook, too shy to join the group games. Cassandra was a whirlwind, loud, bold, the girl who'd leap off the dock into the lake while everyone else checked the depth. One afternoon, I was sitting alone, drawing a heron's wing, when she flopped down beside me, her hair dripping wet. You're too quiet, Amanda, she said, her grin wide and mischievous. You need me to shake you up. And she did. She pulled me into her world of pranks, midnight whispers, and secrets shared under the stars. By the end of camp, we were glued at the hip. Through high school, college, and into our 20s, we were unstoppable. She held my hand when my dad died of cancer my freshman year, her arms around me as I sobbed at his funeral. I drove her to rehab appointments when her mom's addiction spiraled, letting her sleep on my couch when she had nowhere else to go. We weren't just friends, we were sisters, bound by every moment that mattered. So when I met Liam 3 years ago, it felt like the universe was saying, you deserve this. He was 35, a pediatric surgeon with warm brown eyes and a laugh that made my heart skip. We met at a coffee shop, when he knocked over his latte, soaking my sketchbook. He spent an hour apologizing, offering to buy me a new one, and by the end of the week, we were texting like teenagers. He'd leave notes on napkins, I love you more than fresh coffee, and bring home cookies from his patients, their tiny handwriting scrawled with thank you, Dr. Liam. He was kind, brilliant, the kind of man who made forever feel real. When he proposed last spring, on a cliff overlooking the Pacific, I said yes before he could finish the question. I called Cassandra from the car, my voice shaking with joy. She screamed louder than I did, her excitement crackling through the phone. Amanda, you're getting married. I'm planning everything. I laughed, my heart so full it hurt. Of course, she'd be my maid of honor. Who else could stand beside me? But there was a moment, a tiny crack, I didn't see then. When I asked her to be my maid of honor, she didn't cry like I thought she would. She paused, her breath catching, her smile tight. Of course, babe, she said after a beat. Of course I will. I thought it was just her being dramatic, maybe overwhelmed. Now, I know it was the first lie, the first thread in a web I didn't see coming. Wedding planning took over our lives. We booked a waterfront estate, cherry blossoms set to bloom by April. A string quartet for the ceremony, a chocolate hazelnut cake, because Liam loved Nutella. Cassandra was at every meeting, her opinions as loud as ever. No peonies, Amanda, they are too fluffy, she'd say, flipping through flower catalogs with a smirk. Roses are timeless. She fake cried when I tried on my dress, a lace gown with a neckline that made me feel like royalty. Liam's gonna lose it when he sees you, she teased, snapping photos with her phone. I didn't notice her linger on the ring, twisting it on my finger like she was committing it to memory. I was too caught up in the dream, too busy imagining a life with Liam. Liam was my safe place through it all. He'd come home from long shifts, still in his scrubs, and pull me into his arms while I stressed over guest lists. "You're overthinking it, babe," he'd murmur, kissing my forehead. "All that matters is us." I believed him. I trusted him. I trusted them both. My heart was wide open, and I never thought to guard it. Until that day. 2 weeks before the wedding. I was supposed to be in San Francisco for a design conference, but it got cancelled last minute. I didn't tell anyone I was coming home early, thought it'd be fun to surprise Liam with takeout from our favorite Thai place. I landed at SeaTac around noon, grabbed my suitcase, and drove to our condo in Capitol Hill. The air was crisp, spring just waking up. I was humming, picturing Liam's smile when I walked in. But as I unlocked the door, I heard it. Laughter. Her laughter. Cassandra's. Coming from our bedroom. My stomach twisted, but I told myself it was nothing. Maybe she was dropping off a gift, planning a surprise. I set my keys down, my sneakers quiet on the hardwood. The laughter grew louder as I neared the bedroom, not phone call laughter, something playful, intimate. My hand hovered over the doorknob, my pulse racing. I was being paranoid, right? I pushed the door open, just enough to see. And there she was. Cassandra, standing in front of my mirror, her back to me. My wedding dress was laid out on the bed, like it was waiting for her. She was holding her hand up, the ring, my ring, glinting on her finger. The sapphire caught the light, a tiny blue spark that felt like a betrayal all its own. And then she spoke, her voice soft, almost reverent. "Do you, Cassandra, take Liam to be your lawfully wedded husband?" She giggled, twirling, practicing vows that weren't hers. My breath stopped. My vision blurred, not with tears, but with something rawer, disbelief, rage, a pain so sharp it felt like my chest was caving in. She must have felt my presence, because she spun around, her eyes wide, like a kid caught stealing. For a moment, we just stared. Her hand froze, the ring mocking me. She didn't apologize, didn't flinch. She just said, her voice flat, "You weren't supposed to be home." I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab the dress, rip it off the bed, demand answers. But my body wouldn't move. My voice was stuck. All I could do was stare at her, at the stranger wearing my best friend's face. "What are you doing?" I whispered, my voice trembling. She stammered, her hands fluttering like she could wave away the truth. "Amanda, it's not. I was just airing out the dress. Checking the lighting for photos. You know, maid of honor stuff." Her smile was forced, her eyes darting to the door like she was plotting her exit. I looked at the ring. "That's my ring," I said. Barely audible. "Why is it on your hand?" She hesitated, a second too long. I was just trying it on. "It's so pretty," I got curious. She slid it off, holding it out to me like it was nothing. Like she hadn't just been practicing her own wedding with my fiancé. I took the ring, my fingers shaking. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just nodded, like I believed her. Okay, I said. I'm tired from the flight. I'm gonna lie down. She blinked, surprised I wasn't pushing. Okay, yeah, rest up. I'll call you later. She grabbed her purse and practically ran out. The door clicked shut, and I stood there alone, the ring heavy in my palm. I didn't call Liam. I didn't text him. Something inside me had shifted, not broken, but hardened. I needed proof. I needed to know how deep this went. Because if Cassandra was practicing vows, it wasn't a fling. It was a plan. And on karma revenge, we don't let lies hide in the shadows. We bring them to light. I waited until Liam got home that night. He walked in around 8, still in his scrubs, his hair messy from a long shift. Hey, babe, he said, his face lighting up. You're back early. He hugged me, and for a moment, I almost believed he was still mine. His arms felt the same, warm and safe. But I couldn't unsee her in that mirror. I couldn't unhear her voice. Conference got cancelled, I said, forcing a smile. Thought I'd surprise you. You're the best, he said, kissing my cheek. Thai takeout. I'm starving. We ate pad thai on the couch, and I watched him. Every laugh, every glance at his phone. Was he texting her? Was he pretending? I kept my voice light, my questions casual. How's work? Any big surgeries? He talked about a kid with a broken arm, how he'd drawn a superhero on the cast. I nodded, laughed, played the part. But inside, I was unraveling. That night, I couldn't sleep. Liam was snoring softly beside me, but all I could think about was that ring on her finger. I slipped out of bed, my bare feet cold on the floor, and started searching. I didn't know what I was looking for, something to confirm what my gut was screaming. I checked his jacket pockets, his briefcase, his desk. Nothing. Until I got to the laundry room. I was folding clothes, more out of habit than necessity, when I picked up a pair of his socks. One felt wrong. Stiff. I unrolled it, and there it was, a small black phone, sleek and unfamiliar. My heart stopped. Liam only had one phone, the iPhone he was always glued to. This was something else. I powered it on, my hands shaking. The lock screen asked for a password. I tried his birthday. No. My birthday. No. Then, on a whim, I typed 0414. Our wedding date. It unlocked. The home screen was bare, just a messaging app. I opened it, and my world collapsed. Texts between Liam and Cassandra, going back months. I scrolled, my breath shallow, each message a knife to the chest. Cassandra, 3 months ago, can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? Liam, tomorrow. She's at work late. Come over. Cassandra, 2 weeks ago, wish it was you walking down the aisle. Liam, after the honeymoon, we tell her. I promise. I sank to the floor, the phone slipping from my hand. The laundry room was dark, the dryers hummed the only sound. Betrayal isn't loud like in the movies. It's quiet. It's the weight of 1,000 tiny lies pressing down, until you can't breathe. I sat there for hours, rereading the texts, each one carving a deeper wound. They weren't just cheating. They were planning a future. My future. I thought about confronting them. Storming into the hospital, throwing the phone in Liam's face. Calling Cassandra, screaming until my voice gave out. But that wouldn't be enough. They'd lie, deflect, make me feel crazy. No. I needed something bigger. Something they couldn't escape. Something that screamed karma revenge. So I smiled. I played the part of the happy bride. For the next week, I went to dress fittings, finalized the cake, sent out last-minute invites. Liam kissed me goodnight, oblivious. Cassandra texted me about bachelorette party plans, all emojis and excitement. I replied with hearts, with can't wait. I let them think they were winning. But I was planning too. I called my uncle, who owned a vineyard an hour outside Seattle. Can I borrow the place for the wedding? I asked. I want to surprise Liam. He was thrilled, said the vines were blooming, perfect for a spring ceremony. I told the planner to move everything, tables, flowers, the quartet, to the vineyard. Keep it secret, I said. It's a romantic surprise. Then I hired a videographer. Not for the wedding, though. For them. I found a restaurant downtown, La Vita, a cozy Italian place with dim lights and private booths. I booked the whole thing for the night before the wedding. Every table, every seat. Told the manager it was a pre-wedding party. I paid extra for a tiny camera, hidden in a centerpiece, wired to stream live. To where? The vineyard. I texted Cassandra from Liam's secret phone, mimicking his tone, meet me at La Vita, 8 p.m. Friday. One last night before the chaos. She replied instantly, can't wait, baby. My stomach churned, but I kept going. Friday came. The day before the wedding that wasn't going to happen. I told Liam I was staying at my mom's for tradition, no seeing the bride before the big day. He hugged me, said he'd miss me. I smiled, my heart cold. That night, I drove to the vineyard early. The guests were already there, seated under string lights, sipping wine, expecting a rehearsal dinner. My brother, Josh, was by my side, the only one I'd told. He's 6 years older, a firefighter, who doesn't take nonsense. When I showed him the texts, he'd clenched his fists, his voice low. You sure about this, Amanda? I nodded. They need to see who they really are. Karma revenge doesn't let liars hide. The screen was set up in the center of the vineyard, disguised as a slideshow for the rehearsal. But when I gave the signal, the feed switched to the restaurant. The camera caught everything, Liam and Cassandra, tucked into a corner booth, laughing, their hands intertwined. The audio was crystal clear. Cassandra leaned in, her voice playful. You sure she doesn't suspect anything? Liam smirked. Amanda's too soft. She trusts too easily. The guests gasped. Someone dropped a glass. My mom's hand flew to her mouth. I stood at the back, my heart pounding, but not with pain anymore. With power. I drove to the restaurant. I'd timed it perfectly. I walked in wearing my wedding dress, the lace trailing behind me. The staff, in on the plan, parted like a curtain. Cassandra saw me first. Her wine glass froze halfway to her lips. Liam turned, his face draining of color. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I walked to their table, the ring in my hand. I set it down in front of Liam, the sapphire glinting one last time. You'll need this for her ceremony, I said, my voice steady. I won't be attending. Cassandra stammered, Amanda, wait, it's not. I cut her off. Don't. I turned and walked out, the dress swishing behind me. The night air was cool, the stars bright. Josh was waiting in the car. I got in, and we drove back to the vineyard. The guests were buzzing when we arrived. Some were angry, some in tears. My mom hugged me so tight, I could barely breathe. You're stronger than I ever knew, she whispered. I smiled, my first real smile in weeks. The wedding's off, I told the crowd. But the wine's still flowing. So raise a glass to the truth, and to karma revenge. They cheered. Strangers, cousins, old friends, they all raised their glasses. Someone started playing music, and the vineyard turned into a party. Not for a wedding, but for me. For freedom. Cassandra tried to reach me. She called, texted, showed up at my condo the next day, her mascara streaked, her voice shaking. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, she said through the door. We didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to get caught, I said. Then I shut the door. Blocked her number. Blocked Liam's. Packed a bag and booked a flight to Santorini. Alone. I spent 2 weeks there, walking cobblestone streets, sipping coffee by the sea. The sunsets were fire, the water so blue it hurt to look at. I thought I'd cry, but I didn't. I laughed. I danced with strangers at a beach bar. I bought a sketchbook and drew the cliffs, the waves, myself. I found pieces of me I didn't know I'd lost. Betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the people you'd have died for. But healing, that comes from you. And revenge, it's not always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet walk away, a door closing, a plane taking off. Sometimes it's letting karma do its work, and on Karma Revenge, we make sure the truth shines bright. If this story made your heart race, your fists clench, or your eyes sting, you're not alone. I was betrayed by the 2 people I loved most. But I'm not broken. I'm stronger. And if you've ever been hurt by someone you trusted, know this, you're not weak for loving. You're human. And humans rise. So tell me in the comments, what's the worst betrayal you've faced? How did you find your strength? Because on Karma Revenge, we don't just tell stories. We expose the truth. And karma, it always finds a way.